Like I said, with advancements in automation, and I've heard you argue many times that a lot of the jobs that were going to benefit from the manufacturing process was going to be replaced by automation in the first place. So that cuts down on this. That's a huge.
By the time that becomes economically viable to do it, the investment will be there for it. We don't need a tariff. The reason why you tariff is because you're saying we know that it's cheaper to make it over there, so now we're going to artificially make it more expensive, so that now it's cheaper to make it here. But it's only cheaper to make it here because you artificially, whatever 1.5x the price of what it was costing from over there.
Well, there's a scare though with the fact of Chinese ability to mass manufacture, right? Like the way that they control what our exports and imports are, because we're so closely tied to them, because with the policy we pushed for China after the fall of the USSR is to really integrate them in the US economy, that when they turn hostile to us, we're now crippling ourselves in many ways.
A couple more minutes, guys. I hate to break this up, this is awesome, just a couple more minutes.
Sure, yeah, isn't China like 13 or 14 or 15% of our total imports market? Like, we import quite a bit as well.
Yes, we do. I'm just saying, like, when you have important sectors, like,
no, that's not the argument. If you want to talk about important sectors, I can agree with you there, but you're talking about everything. We should be an autarky, basically, or as close as possible to one. But that necessarily hurts our relationship with every other country on the planet. It necessarily is going to lower our standard of living, unless you can just magically produce everything here at no executional cost. In which case, I would have to ask you, why aren't companies doing it already? There's a reason why those tariffs have to go in place.
Well, I argue the reason why those companies aren't doing it in the first place is because they already have too much investment and capital tied up in foreign countries. You're not just going to pick up your entire production.
I understand, but even if, let's say, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying if the cost is changing initially, right, it's going to eventually balance out, right? Nobody's going to wait for it to be, oh God, like now it's all changing, now we're going to move. If it's going in that direction, if you're saying that manufacturing is heading in that direction, like a capital investment is largely, depending on what you're talking about, it's like a one-time big investment thing. At some point, you're going to get your return on investment. It's going to be cheaper for your marginal cost of production to produce here, even if you've already got an investment over there. That will change over time on its own. If you're massively speeding it up with a tariff, or if you're massively forcing it to happen with a tariff, then it's implying that there's no way that the United States could manufacture stuff here. Every single autarky experiment across the planet has failed. What was the country that tried, was it Argentina that tried to make their own blackberries? Do you remember this article, econ article a long time ago? It was.
You could look at Germany trying to produce their own oil too.
Sure, that's a natural resource we track from the ground.
I'm just saying, they tried to become very independent from the global.
Sure, I'm just saying that everything that we do with trading with other countries, it strengthens those countries, it strengthens the relationship with those countries, it strengthens our consumer market, it gives us a higher standard of living. Like there are so many positive knock-on effects from this. That to throw all of that away, and then especially when Trump has the audacity to claim that the reason why he can do this is because the US has the best consumer market. We have the best consumer market because we have the highest productivity workforce, because we import so much lower level stuff from other countries that allows our workers to fixate and specialize on higher productivity stuff. So the idea that you say we have the hottest market ever, yeah, because we have free trade, which he's trying to destroy, and we've got a high productivity workforce that he wants to trade for a low productivity one. So it's like, yeah, you're talking about all these amazing things we have them because we're a certain way, you would go back to the other way.
I guess.
Final thought there.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess the one really big highlight I would push forward is the fact that, you talked about the theft of our intellectual property. That's happening because we have our manufacturing over in China. They are catching up to us in their specializations because we're manufacturing in China. If we pulled back a fair bit, even 90% of our stuff, they wouldn't have so much mobility to capitalize on our benefits.
Sure. Final retort, and you get the final retort. The only reason again why I don't like this, let's say for instance that was the goal, right? If China was the goal, then why not just target China and strengthen your relationship with everybody else? If China was the enemy, then Mexico and Canada should be our best friends. But we're making enemies out of everybody.
You do have to look at the fact that Trump has come down on certain tariff policies after certain imports. He did, right? It is absurd, some of the rates and tariff policies.
But I understand what you're saying, but it's this guy stopped raping his friends and now they're more chill. The terrorists came out of nowhere. They were a big slap in the face of the entire fucking planet. He held up a chart with other terrorists from other countries. It was a fucking lie. That chart was just a lie, right? You acknowledge that was a lie.
Yeah, no, I'm
so the president has just lied to the entire world and lied to every other person when he was saying in his own country that these were the tariff rates that were on. And it's well, he took some of them down.
Well, when the problem is you highlight the fact that the United States is this amazing global superpower, and the fact that we rely on our trade so much, and the fact that we import, that's one of the benefits that everyone is so reliant on us, right? That we're able to strong arm other countries into trade deals, right? But what I'm highlighting here is, from my perspective, we have to be very concerned about, and sort of conservative angle comes in, about the negatives that come from that, right? The theft of our intellectual property. China is catching up to us militarily and intellectually. You can look at all the manufacturing, right? We go through this list. There are serious negative trade-offs that do have to be addressed by moving a lot of our industries over. And the only way you can really force these companies where there's no investment capital here for it, right? Because they don't want to, because it's cheaper over there and there are benefits to it, and they already have investments there. It would take them 5 to 10 years probably to like pick up all their stuff and just be like, okay, we can move it back now that we made a return. You want to speed that up because there's concerns about Chinese
Well,
dominance.
you're saying it'll happen, and also none of this is being passed legally, so it's all just going to go away with the next president, so nobody's going to even make that investment in the United States, and we're destroying our relationship with everybody else too. So like, if the goal was to target China, we're going about it in possibly the worst way we could ever do it, ever.
All right, Tristan. Let everyone know where they can come to debate you or find you on social media.